video, I will quickly show you how to wash the dirt out of your tarpaulin fish pond, either after harvest or any other time that it is dirty and you need to wash it. Please, my name is Abdulaziz Issa. Kindly subscribe to this channel. If you are going to wash off your tarpaulin fish pond after you harvested, you know the water is dirty, the tarpaulin itself is dirty, the edges is dirty just because of the algae and other dirt from the fish. So you need to wash it clean, disinfect it before stocking new fish. That's what I'm going to show you quickly here. And if you're going to wash, these are some of the materials that you will need. You may need a sponge, you may need a foam, you may need a brush, and a duster or napkin or rag, whatever that you call it. For this and that may serve the same purpose depending on the intensity of the dirt or the material that is available to you. After all, a man throws a stick that is in his hand. So, to give you a bonus tip, once you keep draining your water for the harvest, as the water is going down, if you don't want the washing at the end to be difficult for you, the best thing to do is, as the water is going down, you can be washing the edges, the dirt alongside. As the water is going down, you'll see the algae and the dirt on the edges. Please keep washing it with a sponge. The reason is that as the dirt or the algae on the edge is still wet, it is very easy and simple to just brush out. But when it dries, it becomes very difficult. And even when you are going to wash it, when it dries, it means that you have to soak it with the water before you can be able to wash. And even when you soak it, it takes longer time. I will not even find it easy. But as the water is going down and the edges is still soft and still wet, then you'll be cleaning alongside. So this is where these things comes on. If it is too deep and too thick and too difficult to remove, you will need a brush that is harder to rub the surface, either the edges or the ground. If it is not that hard, you can use sponge to take it. And if it is so soft, you can easily use a sponge. And this sponge you can also use to disinfect the pond. We'll have another video on that. And this rag is used to clean. When you finish everything, put it in clean water and dry it, and then use it to wrap the surface and then the ground. The reason is that fish pond, the ideal fish pond, when they make the outlet, it makes sure that when you are draining the water, all the water doesn't go out once. And this is one example. This is the minimum drainage of the pond. You have drained it to the minimum. The rest of the water, what we will have to do is to scoop it out, to scoop the rest of the water out with a container. Because the reason is that should the water drain out completely and possibly you are not around and you leave the fish just like that, by the time you come back, I'm very sure that you will not meet any fish unless you don't keep longer. But automatically, if there's small water that is left out without going, then when you come, you can easily use the bucket or whatever that you can use. Scoop the rest of it out. And when you are scooping, When you get to the ground, then you make sure that the ground too, you wash it very well. And then at the end, everything is completed. You can then use the sponge. You can use the foam or the rack to collect the remaining small water, squeeze it out. After you are done with that dirty water, then you can either use normal water to rinse everywhere. And that means that when you rinse everywhere with normal water, either water hose or whatever, it's also going to post another work for you, because you will need to collect that water again. What I do personally is that when I clean everything, I just leave it under the ground. I will then put the rack. I'll fetch fresh water in the bucket, put it in the rack, and then when I wrap the dirt, come wash it there. Clean everything, come and wash it there. And then you don't realize you clean everything. If you are not sure or you don't like how clean it is, then you can fetch another new water and clean everything. And when you are done, then you are ready to move to the next stage. And to give you bonus tips, when you are done, you are going to stock new. Once the tarpaulin is the old one for order, you have been using it. And even if it is a concrete pond, it is an old one. You don't need much treatment. All you can do is to salt bath the pond. If I say salt bath, you can just put salt in a container with water and dissolve the salt completely. That is making salt solution. Put the rack in there or the foam and then wrap it all around. This is to disinfect the pond. Assume there are bacteria or organisms that can possibly contaminate your new stock. Once you do that, you will disinfect or kill those bacteria. It is not only salt that you can use. You can also use, some use parasol. You can use bitter leaves. There are a lot, but I prefer natural and simple ones. Bitter leaves or salt, and you are good to go. So once you are done with that, then you put in your water and you are ready to stock new fish. And if you put in the water, if the water is coming from tap or metropolitan ensemble, because of the chemicals, the chlorine and other chemicals, it's good you allow or you expose the water for about 3 days, and then possibly the chlorine will be gone, that you can put in your fish. Even if it is coming from direct borehole, you can do that. That way you are sure that the water you are putting in to stock your fish is free from contaminations and chemicals. Please, if you have found value so far, all I need from you is give subscription. Just subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment, and let's share, please. So that is it for today.